Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gaming Mix podcast, your official podcast from analogstickgaming.com. Of course, if you don't know me by now, I'm one of the co-owners of Analog Stick Gaming. My name is Jordan, and to my right, as always, we have the founder, Jeff. How are you doing, Jeff?
Better than yesterday and better than the day before.
Good. That is very good. I almost thought I wasn't going to make this recording because let's say I had a late night last night because we were playing some video games, which we'll talk about later. But also, so I slept in, and then when I woke up, I was just sneezing for about 2 hours. So that was weird, but I seem okay now. So, I'm delighted to be here to bring you this week, or this most recent gaming news, because we've got a few stories this week, which we will come to. However, Jeff, before that, there has been a wrestling event recently and some interesting things have happened. I think perhaps we should talk about some wrestling for our wrestling fan audience here.
Bringing up the Crown Jewel results here.
Yes, yeah, no problem at all. Because yes, of course, if you don't know, WWE recently had Crown Jewel over in Australia, not in Saudi Arabia this time, which is interesting. But they had it over in Australia, and they were also in Australia for Monday Night Raw that week as well, which is why Raw was actually on in the morning for me. So because I didn't realize they were also doing Raw in Australia, I missed it and had to watch it later because I was like, I didn't even. It was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, and it's like those types of episodes generally get low ratings because people are watching it at all sorts of different times, and just it's sort of weird, and you kind of have to avoid social media. I mean, I already had seen
the big thing that happened. Yeah.
Like, Crown Jewel was pretty decent. It was definitely better than WrestlePalooza.
Yes.
I mean, we had Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors, with Io Sky getting the win, which was great considering that we were in Australia. You kind of figured that Rhea would have got it, but no, it was a really, really nice match. Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns, that match was really just to build up the Roman Reigns versus kind of Jay feud of kind of how the old bloodlines kind of conflicting now. So Bronson Reed's like the second person to get a pin on Roman since losing the title in a singles match. We also had Tiffany Stratton versus Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie Vaquer getting the win, becoming the Women's Crown Jewel champion for this year. That match was supposed to be longer, but I guess they got told to make it shorter or something.
Something happened.
We also had Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, which was a fairly decent match, with Seth having to kind of cheat to win, but it was like I have to do this on my own type of match.
Cody was like his demon, right? Cody was the one person that Seth couldn't beat. That was essentially the story going into this match, and I think we all knew that Seth was going to win. Firstly,
they were
because
telegraphing it so freaking hard.
Yeah. Firstly, because like I said, you're making the point that Seth has never beat Cody since he's come back. Also, the loss hurts Cody less than it would hurt Seth. And the belt that Seth has needs to become more meaningful. So him being able to get a win over the other champion kind of helps to heighten that as well.
It was and all we'll talk about if you don't win, then like what is the vision? Like they were building that up, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But
yes, we will, because I think that is also why Seth winning actually made so much sense, because of where they're going with the Seth storyline.
And then we also had AJ Styles versus John Cena, which was
a brilliant match.
Easily the match of the night. I mean, like, I was on the edge of my seat seeing all the moves that were being pulled out. We had the Walls of Jericho. We had like just a whole bunch of moves. Like, it was probably 13, 14 moves.
we were talking about it, and you mentioned something, and I actually totally agree. I'm not sure that they're going to top this match in the rest of Cena's run. Like,
No, I think that should have been his retirement match. Like
yeah,
it was absolutely excellent.
yeah. And also, what I liked about that match as well is you could see the mutual respect and the fact that we know that AJ is making next year his final
Yeah.
year of his career. It kind of meant more, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like these are
And
two guys that are on their way out, and actually they showed they can still pull out a great match.
yeah, and I mean, there's the rumor that Gunther is going to be John Cena's last match, and if he handles it
Yeah.
the same way that it was with Goldberg, um, that's just going to be an absolute disaster.
I agree. I completely agree. I don't think. I mean, I can see Cena being willing to do that because Cena has never been afraid to put people over. But
His
that
last match, he
is,
needs to win.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that you can get away with him losing if it's done in the right way. You know, that. But
Yeah, but then we're going
it's
to have two back-to-back retirement matches where the retiree has lost.
that's true. That's true. That's a good point. That is a good point. I think the difference with Cena though is they could tell quite a compelling story, not necessarily like regardless of who his opponent is. If they do, obviously John Cena's known for the Super Cena thing, right? He's known for the overcoming all challenges and this kind of stuff. And if you have a situation where you build him up as Super Cena again, someone who can't lose kind of thing, and you lead into this situation where actually the story is about someone finally overcoming Super Cena and kind of beating him and sending him on his way, that could
Yeah,
really set up a new star for the next generation, you know?
yeah, it just I don't know, like because after they did the Brock squash, which made absolutely no sense,
Made no sense whatsoever.
and then
I
you had
agree.
half of Cena's retirement tour being an absolute disaster with the heel turn.
Yeah.
You need to have consecutive wins, so I think he will beat Dominic Mysterio
Yeah.
when they fight, and he'll finally become a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I will be honest. I'm not saying that John Cena isn't a man of his word, but I do also speculate that it might not actually be his last match. Like,
well,
uh,
here's the thing: they would be in a lot of trouble
mm,
if it wasn't, because the ticket prices that are going for Cena's last match right now
crazy, right?
are like not WrestleMania costs, but they are like extremely expensive, especially for a Saturday night main event, like an NBC show. If Cena was to extend and do other matches, then those prices for the tickets would have been inflated for no
Yeah, that's
reason,
true.
and there could be
That's
legal
true.
discourse.
That's true. Actually, I didn't think about that. Yeah, good point. Good point.
But
Well, it'd be interesting to see what happens. But credit to like we know AJ is amazing. I'm really disappointed with how WWE have actually been using AJ in the last couple of years because I think that for someone who's had the career that he's had, yes, I understand that not all of his career has been in WWE, but he has been there quite a long time now. I feel like he deserves a little bit more respect and to be in a more prominent. Like, we know that this match between AJ and John Cena wasn't actually going to happen. Like, that has been confirmed. There were no plans for this match originally,
yeah,
but and it's like, and then they go and pull that out. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, so I hope that this also means something for AJ as well going forward.
in a perfect world, what I would hope for the the last match of Cena is it's a mystery challenge opponent. We don't know who it is, like up until that day. And because we've got a wrestler from AEW who's ending their contract in December, who could probably get some type of like think about it. John Cena's sitting there, whatever, and waiting for like the next person to come in, and all of a sudden we hear break the walls down, and it's Jericho, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And because AEW could be like, hey, listen, Jericho's contract ends after Cena's last match. We're willing to let it go early to have Jericho on WWE programming if you can negate the Andrade
Yeah,
year
because
ban.
there's weird stuff going on with that right now, isn't there? So
Yeah,
yeah.
because there was a non-compete and
Mm.
nobody knew, not even Andrade.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's why he appeared on TV, right? Like he was
yeah,
actually on their show, and the
yeah.
next
And
minute he
now he has
disappeared.
a non-compete for a year.
And his is like so long now because he didn't know there was a non-compete.
Yeah.
He basically broke that,
But
and it means he gets a longer one essentially.
apparently Andrade has a very, very good lawyer, so there could be some type of thing done. But like
Interesting.
that's to me what I would do is AEW should be like, hey, we're going to give you Chris Jericho early
Hmm.
so that you can
Yeah,
do this because that's
yeah.
going to be a massive
There
match.
is obviously other speculation as well, and the Australian fans kind of alluded to this through some of their chanting. But depending on what happened with another AEW wrestler's contract, there is another AEW wrestler that is potentially out of contract around the same time as Cena's match, and that is, of course, Edge.
No, Edge's is late next year.
Is it?
Yeah.
So that means they extended it. Okay.
No,
Interesting.
it was supposed to end next year. Like he's written off TV right now because he's doing a show or a movie or
Yeah.
something like that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
he won't unfortunately be able to fight Cena. That
That's
is
a
coming back
shame.
next year.
That is a shame because he would have Jericho's brilliant, and we at this point we pretty much know that Jericho's coming back to WWE.
Yeah, it's been
He,
alluded to quite a bit, and we're also going to see a lot of call ups as well too, because we'll jump right into it. On
yeah,
Raw, Seth Rollins was betrayed by Braun Breaker, who ended up converting Bronson Reed to his side, and so they have taken out Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins is getting shoulder surgery.
yeah.
So he meant
So he's actually injured, right?
yeah,
Like
he
Rollins is
might not
actually
even be
injured.
back for Mania.
Yeah,
They might be building towards Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns for WrestleMania. That's been a match that has been a long time coming.
yes,
But yeah, like there's a lot going on right now because like Seth is going to have to relinquish the belt, and I hope to God like they like playing long-term storylines. They like revisiting a lot of stuff. When Seth Rollins is handing the belt over to whatever, you know who needs to come out? Fucking Finn Balor. Because when Finn Balor had to relinquish the belt, Seth
yeah,
Rollins was there and he was laughing his ass off. So they
yeah,
need to have Finn Balor come out and just do something there.
yeah. And it's interesting because the other thing that is going to be interesting to see where the story goes now, because obviously CM Punk is the number one contender, right?
Yeah, I think the smartest thing to do for me would be to have um a gauntlet, or not a gauntlet, a tournament for whoever
Yeah.
would face CM Punk at Survivor Series or whatever.
Yeah, for the belt kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Because and this is just speculation on my
Here's the
part.
thing, it will be LA Knight.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. This is
Fine.
speculation on my
Yeah.
part, but if Rollins was fit and not going away to have surgery, I think Punk would have beat him for the belt anyway. I think because they've been kind of slowly building to that for several months now,
I don't think
and
so.
that
I think honestly, um, I think Seth would have kept it till Mania,
interesting.
and then CM Punk would have got the win at Mania in the main event because it would do
Yeah,
two things. Punk's never main evented
in a singles
WrestleMania in a
match.
singles match, and he's
Hmm.
never won a title or the main like heavyweight
Yeah.
belt at Mania.
So it would have accomplished two things. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I never thought
And
of that.
like,
That would
and
have been a really good idea.
yeah, and because
So
they
with
still,
that in mind, then we just mentioned that it will probably end up being CM Punk and LA Knight now. Who do you think walks away with that belt in that case?
well, I think if they do like which Mania or Survivor Series.
Well, who? Because they're going to need a champion, right? So say it's at Survivor Series. Who
Um,
becomes the interim champion, if you like?
well, if you think of it this, think of the planning this way. You
Yeah.
had Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. All right.
Hmm.
Now
Yeah.
CM Punk was likely going to lose because they need
Okay.
to keep the belt on Seth. Correct.
Yes, I
So
agree.
now, if you have a mystery person who's going to be in fighting CM Punk, the smartest choice is to give it to CM Punk because who else are you going to put it on that you still have to create a storyline around? It makes more sense to put it on CM Punk.
Yeah, because then you can still have Seth come back and be the like you can revisit that story right later when Seth comes
Yeah,
back if Punk
exactly.
has the belt.
So I think it
Yeah.
makes more sense to put it on CM Punk, but I think they're going to do a tournament. I think LA Knight's going to win because they've been building up LA Knight and CM Punk a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
So I read one report that the reasons LA Knight is very much in favor again with the backroom people is apparently because CM Punk is actually a huge fan of his,
yeah.
and he's one of the people that he's taken under his wing and given him advice and things like that.
Yeah,
So
like it's so weird. Like 4 years ago or 3 years ago, CM Punk was lauded as this like unworkable asshole in the back.
yeah,
Everyone fucking hated him, all this stuff. He comes to WWE and completely flipped the script. Now he's one of the most liked guys in the back room. He's rumored
yeah,
to take over NXT after Shawn Michaels
yeah,
retires. Like
yeah.
it's so weird. And like I never watched WWE when CM Punk was around. That was like my blackout for it. Like I just never continued watching it. And yeah, so like when he came back, I only knew CM Punk through what I'd heard and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I think I'd seen a match here and there. I can't remember. I mean, hell, like I'm playing Pokemon ZA and I'm like, did I play X or Y? Did I play those and stuff? And like I watched the video and stuff. I'm like, well, I recognize this, but I don't remember any of that.
Jeff
So
can't
like,
remember last week, let alone.
fucking hell, what did I have? Oh, what did I have for supper last night? Oh yeah, Pizza 73. They got a freaking pizza volcano. I'm literally
But,
not kidding. It's a pizza, and it's got like a crust thing filled with ranch dressing, and oh my god, it's so fucking good.
oh, wow. But what I would
This
say is
podcast is
yes,
sponsored by Pizza 73.
if you are a wrestling fan, Crown Jewel in Australia was pretty good. Definitely, even if you don't watch the whole event, go and watch that AJ Styles
Yeah,
and John Cena match.
oh, it's good.
Like,
So many people got injured too. Like
mm,
Rhea got injured in Japan. She busted up her nose, so she might bring back the mask, which is awesome. Jacob Fatu's getting his entire mouth redone
yeah,
for health
yeah,
reasons, so he's out. So I think Randy Orton is the person that hurt Jacob Fatu
interesting. Okay, okay.
because like they're building up him turning bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes so much sense to kind of
Yeah, I
eliminate,
am
you know.
wondering as well. Now that Seth is injured, I'm wondering what that might mean for the War Games match at Survivor Series because there's always a War Games match.
Yeah, um, fuck. It was kind of commented. War Games 2025.
Because I heard a rumor that Brock Lesnar's supposed to be in it.
Yeah,
Mm,
there's let's see here. There was talk about who is going to be in it. Oh wait, no, that was the female match. So apparently, yeah, the female match is Ripley, Io Sky, AJ Lee, Bailey, and Valkyria versus Asuka, um, Kairi Sane, Becky Lynch, Roxanne Perez and Rodriguez.
That makes sense, and that could be a really interesting match, actually, with
CM
that
Punk
combination of
versus
women.
LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. Are these predictions? Oh yeah, these are predictions. Oh, okay. And then one of them was like Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. That's a prediction. Gunther versus Sheamus for the
Yeah,
finals of John Cena Invitational Tournament. Okay, this is all predictions and stuff.
interesting.
There was some confirmation on certain things because I don't think the War Games match is going to be the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six. I think that's just going
Okay.
to be a standard match. But I think we're going to see like Roman, Jay, Jimmy, CM Punk, and probably somebody else versus like Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. I could see like even like Drew being in there or something like that. Logan
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul. Um,
Oh God, Logan Paul.
there's
Oh my
also
God.
talks of like bringing some NXT guys over. So I mean, like imagine if you put
Interesting.
like Ova Femi with Brock and Bronson.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But yes, there has good week of wrestling. Some interesting stuff going on. I would end it by
oh, and
saying, go
Brock's
on.
also been added back to WWE 2K25.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there's a John Cena retirement DLC that you can buy because of course there is, and Brock has been added back in now.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Um, I find it very interesting. What I would say is to end the wrestling discussion. I was shocked. I mean, I know Seth is hurt, but I was shocked that they did this. That they did the turn on Seth already. Like
They
it
had to.
feels. I know they had to because of circumstance, but it does feel too early. Like
Oh, for
we
sure.
we knew it was gonna go that way eventually anyway, but it just feels too early, and I'm not sure whether that's a good or a bad thing for where they're going to eventually head with it, because it was very obvious that the whole plan of this group was basically to make
To implode.
Braun Breaker a much bigger star, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm keen to, follow. Like WWE has been very up and down in recent months, but they
Yes.
seem like they might be in a more interesting place again finally. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they go heading into Survivor Series and beyond that. Obviously, John Cena's last match.
Yeah.
So we will keep you updated with any big happenings in that world. But for now, let's get to gaming because that's what we're all here for, really. Because there's been some interesting news stories in the last week or so, and one particularly very sad bit of news. So where do we want to start today, Jeff?
Well, I think what we'll do is we'll start with that sad news so that we can get a little bit of a rebound from it. Yeah, this one, I actually didn't notice this until I was watching a Maximilian Dude video where he was talking about it. And yeah, this is once the tab decides to load, this is absolutely heartbreaking. Tomonobu Itagaki, the founder of Team Ninja and creator of the Dead or Alive video fighting game series, has passed away at the age of 58. Itagaki, who joined Tecmo in the early 90s, went on to produce and direct the first 4 Dead or Alive games, as well as Dead or Alive Ultimate and its spin off Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. He was also in charge of Tecmo's critically acclaimed reboot of its Ninja Gaiden series, producing and directing Ninja Gaiden Black, and Ninja Gaiden 2. A final message written by Itagaki was posted on his Facebook page following his passing, entitled Last Words. The message reads, "The light of my life is finally fading. The fact that this message has been posted means that the time has finally come. I am no longer in this world. I'm asking a loved one to make this final post." My life has been a series of battles. I kept winning. I've caused a lot of trouble too. I'm proud to say that I followed my beliefs and fought to the end. I have no regrets. However, I'm filled with regret that I wasn't able to deliver a new work to all my fans. And for that, I'm sorry. That's just how it is. So it goes. Bit Summit co-founder, former Q Games producer, and former games journalist James Mielk posted a tribute to Itagaki on Blue Sky, explaining that they were very close. Today, I lost someone who was truly like a brother to me. I am gutted to the core. I guess I can say now that it's on his Facebook page. He even listed himself as my actual brother on Facebook. Anyone who knows me knows how close we were. R.I.P. Senpai. You will always be a ninja. Um, yeah, there's more. Definitely check out this news post on VGC. It comes to us from Chris Scullion. Um, yeah, like I
That
love the Dead or Alive.
post that post that he got one of his family members to do.
Yeah,
My God, that really, like, when you actually listen to what he's saying there,
yeah,
that really hits quite deeply. Like, that's
yeah. Like I, the we got Ninja Gaiden 4 coming out,
yeah,
which is obviously not handled by Itagaki, but he handled the first two Ninja Gaiden games as well as the Black. And then the Dead or Alive series, like I love the Dead or Alive fighting series. I mean,
yeah,
it's likely not to return. I think it's that and Soul Calibur are two fighting game franchises that I think are done.
yeah.
Um, and there was also a lot of rivalry between him and the guy from Tekken.
Yes.
I'm trying to
Oh,
remember his name.
I forget his name, but yeah, there was a well-known rivalry between the two of them, and it led to some interesting things happening over the years.
Kanata, Harada. Yeah,
Yes.
Katsushira Harada. Like he's made posts as well about it as well too. But yeah, like this sucks. Like he was that whenever you saw him, whenever he was referred to as like the development rock star because he always
Yeah.
wore like those leather jackets and all that kind of stuff. Like he
And also, he's one of those developers that kind of supersedes and reaches out of the genre that he was actually in. Like,
yeah,
most gamers either have heard of him before or they know who he is. And that's why we see such a celebration of his life going on social media. There's no one saying stupid things for once, which is really nice.
yeah,
And just celebrating someone who brought so much joy to so many gamers. And it what hit me, like I said, about that final post there is that, he clearly wanted to make something else and he just wasn't able to do that. And that really sucks, like, because it's like someone losing their life, and I feel for his family, his friends, and everyone who knew him personally. Someone who loses their life is never a good thing. It's never something that um, should be celebrated, or the celebration part should be about that person's life and the things they brought to the world. And he brought some really wonderful things and has given some people, some gamers, memories that will live with them forever, right?
yeah.
Like,
He is one of the first developers to kind of go like, hey, games can be hard, because like Ninja Gaiden was not an easy game. It was very
yeah,
difficult. And like,
yeah,
it's not to say that it started like the Souls genre and then created this whole like difficulty challenge type of thing, but it was one of the first games like commercially. I mean, like
yeah,
when the original Xbox launched, they had some pretty decent bangers, and Team Ninja was right there creating some
yes,
absolutely amazing stuff. So was From Software. A lot of people
hmm
don't know that From
yeah,
Software
of
was kind of
course,
an
yeah.
Xbox developer.
But it's like you said, you made a really good point there that he. This is why as you know me, Jeff, one of my favorite developers ever is Kojima, right?
Yeah,
And one of the things I really love about Kojima is whether you like his games or not, he knows what he wants to make and he isn't afraid to make it. And Itagaki here, like, same way, right? The guy wasn't afraid to make a hard video game because he wasn't trying to please everyone. He was trying to make the game he wanted to make. And he made some brilliant games. And like I say, he'll be remembered forever very fondly by the whole gaming community, I believe. No.
Okay.
So yes, he'll be remembered very fondly. Let's see if we get some sort of celebration for him. As you say, obviously he wasn't involved in Ninja Gaiden 4.
Oh, there'll be for Itagaki.
Yeah.
When that game starts, they're absolutely going to add that either into the credits or at the beginning of it or something like that. They'll
because that would be a nice little touch. Because, like I said, although he isn't directly involved in this game, it will almost be viewed as like this is his send-off kind of game. You know, this is like people, when they think of Ninja Gaiden 4, will think of him because he's unfortunately passed away so close to the release of the game, right? So, and with him having such a connection with that franchise, it's just impossible for that connection to not continue. So yeah, very, very sad news. Legendary creator. And if you have any memories of him or his games that you'd like to share below in the comments, please do. We'd love to hear some of your memories of Itagaki's games, such as Dead or Alive or Ninja Gaiden.
The last game that he actually was a director of was Devil's Third, which I know did not do well.
Yes.
And then he was a supreme advisor, whatever that is, for Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. That was 5 years ago. So he hasn't really kind of developed much.
Supreme advisor, it almost sounds like it's like he's Emperor Palpatine, you know. I have no idea.
We find no confidence in the supreme advisor.
Oh god, but yes, right. legendary creator, and our thoughts are with his family and friends at this difficult time.
Alrighty, so now to actually we'll leave the heavy ones just for the end here. So the next game from Clair Obscur Expedition 33 studio, Sandfall Interactive, won't necessarily follow the same art style or genre its creative director has suggested. In an interview with the Washington Post, Guillaume Broche said that even though Clair Obscur has been a huge success with more than 5 million copies sold, that doesn't necessarily mean it will go with the same formula for its next game. The article notes that the game's parrying feature and ability to remain active during an enemy's turn was inspired by Devil May Cry and Mario & Luigi RPG series, but that it was too early to tell if Sandfall would lean heavier on action next time. We don't want to be constrained by story, art style, or gameplay in whatever we want to make next, so nothing to say. We just want it to feel authentic and made with love. Elsewhere in the article, Broche said that the big upcoming update for Clair Obscur and the studio's way of thanking the players for the game's success. It's not exactly a full-blown downloadable content expansion thing, but it's what we call a thank you update. We have received so much love from our community and players, we just wanted to thank them for joining us. The update, which is in development for all platforms and doesn't yet have a release date, will include a new playable environment offering new enemy encounters and surprises to discover. It also adds new late-stage boss battles, new costumes, and even more surprises fans can look forward to. In a separate interview in August, Broche explained that the addition of the parrying mechanic wasn't added to make the game to appeal to players who didn't like turn-based RPGs, and was purely a design choice made with gameplay in mind. It's not like we added the parrying system and built such a narrative experience because we wanted to avoid our game facing prejudice, he told Automaton. We just did it because we wanted to do it. Yeah, like it's interesting because like you get a lot of studios that kind of feel pressured to kind of like remake the next game. Like it doesn't feel as disconnected as it could be. Like when you take a look at something like Sucker Punch, they went from like Sly Cooper to Ghost of Tsushima, like to Ghost of Tsushima. Like you can put teams, even like Guerrilla went from Killzone to
Horizon, so you
Horizon.
can do something very different if you want to, right? And I do think that over the years, as gamers and as media, there has been a bit of a problem of trying to put developers into boxes and kind of you are the RPG studio, like
because like you take a look at Supergiant, their games are wildly different, but their art design roughly stays very, very similar. So like,
so they still have an identity.
They still have an identity, and so like, I'm very interested to see what this team's next game is, because like this was the team's first game, and it's very likely to win.
And also, quite frankly, I haven't finished the full game yet, as you know, but I will be finishing it, and I can even tell you that from what I've played right now, I can guarantee it will be in my top 10 at the end of the year, even if I don't finish it. But the reason I want to finish it is to give it proper placement.
But you would say, because there's like 2 or 3 big hooks in that game that'll make you just go, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
But what I would say is that when a team makes their first game and it's this good and this successful, the reason they did that is because they had the freedom to do whatever they wanted in the first place, because it was their first game. So we should not be trying to pigeonhole them. And do you know what? If they want to go and make a first-person shooter, for example, do it. If they want to make anything, they could make a top-down, like, they could do literally anything.
It could be a lane game where you have a little guy and the little blocks thing, and everything starts going down. You're fighting marbles and everything. Oh wait, that's been done.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, I just think that this team has, yes, okay, they've only had one game, but they've had one very, very successful game that people love. And even if it doesn't win Game of the Year, it's very likely to win lots of awards, right? So this is going to be an award-winning game. And I just think that when you've made a game that good, you deserve the freedom to make what you want the next time around.
I mean, it won't win Game of the Year at the Joystick Awards, because have you seen those nominees? Holy.
That was nuts. That was nuts.
Sonic Crossworlds, Game of the Year. Let's go.
Oh god, that was nuts. But yes, I'm really happy for Sandfall, and like, I can't wait to see what they do next. And I do actually hope that they go down the Supergiant road and make something very different, because I think that could be quite interesting. And I like when development teams keep us on our toes like that, because it makes it more exciting. Because go on.
Can you imagine if their next game, all right, imagine this, a Devil May Cry game, all right, that is way more Devil May Cry, so real-time action, it's not turn-based or anything like that, a Devil May Cry game that is a roguelike.
Wow. That would be cool. That would be cool.
Because like all your abilities would change and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
All of it. So it's like Hades, but it plays like Devil May Cry.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Then because like Devil May Cry games, like some of them get kind of bashed for like their repetitive move sets and things that you're doing. But if you make those move sets drastically different, and they could put a good spin on it, because the lady that wrote Expedition 33 is immensely talented. So there's honestly, I
would argue, and I haven't even finished Expedition 33, but I would argue it might have the best writing in a video game that I can think of. Like,
it's amazing. The writing
is
so good.
It's so well written. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Like that game came together with like just the community, pretty much, like the people that were like, I mean, she came in to voice a character and got hired for that, and then converted into the narrative writer, and then like the casting director and all this other kind of stuff.
But it's lovely to hear how things like that happen, right? Because it's like using the skills of the people that you have available to you.
Well, they found tons of their people on Reddit. Like, you get a lot of these gamers, they're like, "Hey, yeah, I can make a better game than EA or whatever." Blah blah blah.
It's like, well, yeah, go and do it then, and they actually did.
They're like, "Yeah, all right, done. I said what I was going to do." Like, there was. Have you heard? I don't know what developer it was. I have no idea what developer it was. But there was a fan who was absolutely annoyed by a small little glitch in the game. Like this, like absolutely like this little thing. So he got hired from the studio, went in, fixed it, and then quit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what? What a story.
Let me see like that. Fan.
That's actually amazing. So you basically joined the studio to fix one thing and then left. That is amazing.
I can't remember what it is, but yeah,
what a power move. What a power move. But yeah, it's very interesting. I do want to
here we are.
Go on. You found it. What is it?
What is it?
We're gonna find out what game this was, people.
I don't know. Like, it's this person from Robin at Dreams of Sloth. The first thing our new hire did was fix a bug that's been bugging him for a user prior to joining. He then breathed a sigh of relief and submitted his 2 weeks notice.
That is crazy. Like, that is an amazing story. Like, that someone went as far as, yes, I'm going to apply for a job just so that I can get in and fix this bug in this game and then quit so I can carry on playing the game.
That's a fucking like baller move, right?
What a move. Yeah, great. But I know we do have other news. There is one news thing that isn't on our docket though, and I wanted to bring it up because this is a small piece of news, but for players like me it's a very interesting piece of news. And as if you like the Football Manager series, you'll be very aware that Football Manager 26 is coming up in a couple of weeks here, and we're getting news on the beta access soon. They said sometime this week we'll get news on when that's going to be available. But interestingly, the head of the franchise over at Sports Interactive, Miles Jacobson, recently had an interview with the Radio Times, who are a very old school news outlet here in the UK, but they've gone into video game coverage in the last few years. And they got to play the game early, but during this interview, and you can find it over on YouTube, I'll try and link it below, one thing that he confirmed, which shocked me in some ways and didn't shock me in others, is the last release in the franchise, Football Manager 24, because obviously 25 got cancelled. Football Manager 24 had 20 million players. So, like, and this franchise was always very popular on PC. It's always been a game that's like constantly in Steam's top 10. Like, once it releases, it basically stays in the top 10 for months and months. But the fact that it had 20 million players, I think, shows a couple of things. One, management sims maybe aren't as niche as we once thought they were. And two, the size of the sport of football/soccer, right? It's like, because if there's that many people that want a management sim about football/soccer, like, it's crazy. To me, I remember hearing back in the day that this franchise had sold like 3-4 million copies, right? And that was a big success for this kind of game at the time. And obviously in recent years, they've made the console version again, which has helped. And the main thing that I imagine has helped with this player number is they do launch into Game Pass, and they have done for the last few releases now.
Yeah, I would
But
like to know the total playtime average
yeah,
across
yeah,
all that, because there could be people that turned it on going, "Yeah, I don't like it," and then left.
absolutely. Well, interestingly, just to give you some idea of playtime or how much playtime you could potentially get out of these games. Myself, I looked at my own playtime for the game yesterday, and FM24, I played for 350 hours. So, so there's it's got. I wouldn't imagine the overall average playtime will be extremely low. I would imagine it would still be quite high because you do have. There are people that play this game for like 1,000 hours.
Hmm.
Um, but it would be interesting to know. But again, like for a management sim that was once considered very niche to hit 20 million players, I think it puts into perspective that when you it puts into perspective for me that how services like Game Pass can really help discoverability and almost like an ease of access
Yeah,
as
when
well.
you remove the barrier to the games that people want to try, especially when there's no demos for a lot of games, Game
Yeah.
Pass kind of becomes that free
Yeah.
rental, that demo that you kind of need to even see if you can engage with.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people, and we've mentioned it before, but I know a lot of people that will try a game on Game Pass and then go and buy it after, like, because they still want to own their game, even though you technically never own a game. Um,
Yeah.
and although people think you do when it's a physical game, even physical games going back to like 3, 4 generations ago, you technically never actually owned those games. They could turn up on your door at any time and take those, like, they weren't ever going to because logistically it would have been a nightmare. But technically, even your physical games, you don't actually own. So
Yeah, it's all licensing.
it's a weird situation. But I just thought that was a cool little bit of news there of like I said, a once niche franchise reaching what I would say is a very sizable number of players. Like, I don't think that 20 million players is something to sniff at, right? So that was an interesting anecdote, and I am looking forward to seeing how the upcoming release of Football Manager 26 is going to be. I am planning to review it for the Outer Haven, but we will have my good friend James, who is my in real life friend, but also writes reviews for the Outer Haven. He will be reviewing it for us here at Analog Stick Gaming, so you'll have that to look forward to in the weeks to come. Probably post release, or we may get access to the beta version. We'll see. We'll see what happens there,
Yeah.
and we'll have that in the coming weeks. But as for news, what do we have up next, Jeff?
Alrighty. This one's sort of heartbreaking as well. The studio behind Hyperlife Drifter or Hyperlife Breaker is ending development on the game and confirmed it will be laying off some staff. Heart Machine, which previously released the critically acclaimed Hyperlife Drifter in 2016 and Annapurna's published Solar Ash in 2021, released Hyperlife Breaker in Steam Early Access back in January. The game is a prequel to Hyperlife Drifter, but rather than an overhead pixel art action adventure game, it's a third person polygonal one, much like the difference between 2D and 3D Zelda games. User reviews for the game have been mixed during its early access phase, with 67% of the 2,580 reviews it's received to date being marked as positive on Steam's digital storefront. Now, the studio has confirmed that the game developer that the early access period is ending for Hyperlife Breaker after around 9 months, with the development on the game coming to an end. Heart Machine has also stated they'll be laying off staff as a result of the game's development ending, though it hasn't confirmed exactly how many will be affected. As we wrap up our work on Hyperlight Breaker, we've had to make the difficult decision to part ways with a number of talented team members. This was not our ideal path, but rather the only one available given the circumstances. While this path will include a conclusion on the project, it reflects broader forces beyond our control, including shifts in funding, corporate consolidation, and uncertain environment many small studios like us are navigating today. The studio laid off some of its staff last November, but said at the time that it would hope that with the strong and timely release of Hyperlight Breaker could rekindle opportunities for those who were let go. Hyper Light Breaker was originally planned to hit early access in 2023, but a number of delays saw this being pushed back by 2 years. Yeah, so like I've played a little bit of Hyper Light Breaker. I will say
As
that
have I.
Hyper Light
Yeah.
Drifter is one of my favorite games of all time. I did not get on with Breaker. I don't know what it was. I think it was just the overall design of the game I wasn't a fan of. I might revisit it at some point with all the updates that they've had, but this sucks. I love this
It
studio.
does. Yeah. Because also it just shows that when a game doesn't quite pan out, especially in the current financial market and the current industry, a game almost has to succeed now, otherwise it's going to result in layoffs. And it shows how risky game development is, right? So it's quite, how can I put it? It's quite
And
sad to see this, really.
yeah, I almost wonder if like it being a roguelike kind of hurt it as well, because like the previous game, from what I can remember, was just like a top-down, like hack and slash game.
I believe so, yeah. So they did change. But again, we just spoke about with Sandfall, right? Wanting to do something different. I'm
Yeah.
not going to criticize Heart Machine for wanting to make a different style of game. I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, I'm just wondering if the roguelike element is what threw people off, because like
Absolutely. I do think, as you mentioned, though, with it now reaching, like with the early access period ending and obviously active development on it ending, I will probably revisit. I will probably revisit the game at some point when we have a slightly less busy period, because, as you know, Jeff, things are crazy right now.
I would assume that this means that console ports are just not going to happen.
Yeah, which is a real shame. But then, one thing I will say is the good news of this, I suppose, is that, as they say, because the game is reaching its full release, it hopefully will get some more eyes on it, because it should get a small kind of little push on Steam, because when things reach their full release, they pop up on the front of the store and things like that. So it may get some more eyes on the game, and it may help people that have been laid off to kind of find their next thing, right? Because they can say, yeah, I did, this was a full release. Like, a full release looks much better on your resume than, oh, I worked on a game that has been stuck in early access for however long, is like when I think about Star Citizen. I don't know if you know much about that, Jeff, but Star Citizen
that's been on early access longer than most gamers have been alive, right?
Yeah, like that game is never going to reach full release, because the person who's running it over there is a perfectionist and wants to somehow make the perfect game, but the perfect game doesn't exist. So but yeah, it's very, very sad, and we've said it many times before. Layoffs suck. They are inevitable, unfortunately. Let's not mix words about that. None of us are stupid here. Layoffs are inevitable. It's the same as if me and Jeff found ourselves in a situation where we didn't have time to do the things we're doing now, we wouldn't be doing them, right? Like if for some reason something happens in our lives and we go, do you know what? I actually can't dedicate time to the website anymore, or I can't dedicate time to the podcast anymore.
I'll have to let Banter go. Terminate staff, unfortunately.
So
talking about letting Banter go from the website.
He carries this team.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, things happen and we're very aware of that. But when it's a company that has made a really good game in the past and they tried to do something slightly different and it maybe hasn't connected with people in the same way, it's just sad to see. Like, it is really sad to see. And it goes back to that thing we said of like, I feel like this game probably needed something like Game Pass. Because
yeah, it could have been in game preview.
yeah, like imagine if they had done that, it potentially would have thousands more players at that point, maybe even millions. You know, you never know how far these games are going to go, but it's interesting that obviously the studio isn't shutting down. It's not like they're shutting down. They've laid off some people and they are stopping active development on the game. But the interesting thing about that, and people might not understand, is just because a studio stops active development on a game doesn't mean that there will never be circumstances where they don't start developing it again. Like, if something happens and let's say, for example, their next game is a success, right? They might then decide, okay, let's go back and port Hyper Light Breaker to consoles. And then let's say they port it to consoles in 2-3 years and it becomes a big success on consoles. They may decide, okay, now we have more of an audience for it. Let's restart the active development. So it doesn't necessarily mean this game is dead. And it's not like they're taking the game. This isn't Concord. You know, they're not taking the game offline. I don't want that to confuse anyone. Like, you can still play this game. And I do think even from the couple of hours I played, and I got to preview it as well, it's from the bit that I've played of the game, I think there's a game there that people will enjoy. So it's not like I can say, it's not like I would say, don't go and try it. Like, I think it's worth trying out. And, you know, now more than ever, that studio might need your support. So if you look at Hyper Light Breaker and it's something you're interested in, or if you've had it on your wish list on Steam and you've been waiting for a time to buy it, if you can buy it right now, I guarantee you're going to be helping that studio and you're going to be helping whatever they do next, right? So if you like, go and look at it. If it's something you're interested in, pick it up, because I don't want to keep seeing developers taking risks and losing out because the game isn't discoverable for some reason, right? Yeah. There's a real problem with game discovery right now, and there's also a problem with people's attention spans and things like that, which is something I'll talk about on another episode. But it's really hurting certain projects and certain styles of games, and I don't want to see this keep happening, because so Jeff, you know Mike Bithell very well, right? Yeah. And they recently had to do a bit of a restructuring at Bithell Games.
Yeah.
And over at Bithell Games, they did a restructuring, but on Blue Sky yesterday, because I've spoken to Mike Bithell several times, he was actually on my old podcast, and I have been trying to get him on this podcast as well. It's more of a scheduling problem. But I saw him post on Blue Sky yesterday. And to be very clear, Bithell is British, the same as me, and we have a somewhat sarcastic sense of humor, okay? And he wasn't saying this to be funny, but he was making a point. He said, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit because I don't remember the exact wording, but he said something along the lines of, getting a game publisher these days as an indie is actually really easy. You just have to self-fund about 95% of your project, do all of the work, prove that it's a guaranteed success, and then a publisher will come in to fund that final 5%, and take 75% of everything the game earns. And I thought that was interesting because it kind of shows that there is a problem with the structure of the industry right now. And there's a problem with the way that business is being done, right? And we spoke about it with Bithell Games. They are a very proven, very successful indie studio. They've had many successful games, and yet even they have been hurt by these recent troubles within the industry. And it does suck. It's like, we know, so for example, there's a game coming out soon, Power Wash Simulator 2. The developers of that game are actually self-publishing the sequel. They didn't publish Power Wash Sim, but they are sensible enough, and they had enough money that they are able to self-publish Power Wash Sim 2. And if you can self-publish, you avoid so many of these problems. Because as Mike Bithell says in his post, like, why would you want to sign a deal where a publisher finances a small portion of your project and helps you get the name out there just so that they can take most of the reward? Like, that stuff sucks. You know, it really does, and it's hurting companies. And I think that we need to really start looking at these publishers and what they're actually doing and what their unrealistic expectations are, because it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on. And, you know, I feel for Heart Machine right now because they took the leap of releasing a game in early access with the hope of being able to build on it and improve it over time. And it's been in early access for a little while, but it would have been nice for them to have number two, to have how can I put it? It would have been nice for them to have the freedom to end their early access period on their own terms and release the game when they felt ready. But yeah, that's all I really have to say, and I wish the best for anyone who has been or will be laid off from Heart Machine. I've spoken to a few members of that team actually, and you know, I really do wish the best for all of them, and I hope they can land on their feet somewhere. Because the one positive right now about the industry is, although there's lots of layoffs, there is also lots of jobs available, because there are new studios starting all the time, and there are new projects starting all the time. And here we see Banter sat on Jeff's lap. But we do obviously have more news to get to before we talk about what we've been playing, and we are running slightly short on time. I know we want to talk about Ubisoft, and we potentially have a few things to say on Ubisoft, but why don't you lead us off with the story here, Jeff?
Sure. This has been one of the most weird ones for me for this week. That's why one of the ones I wanted to cover for sure. So this comes to us from Andy Robinson at VGC. Ubisoft reportedly canceled an in-development Assassin's Creed game last summer, partly due to concerns of the political climate in the United States. According to current and former employees speaking anonymously to GameFile, the canceled game was planned to take place during the Reconstruction period following the American Civil War in the 1860s and 1870s. It's claimed the Assassin's Creed game would have followed a black man who had been formerly enslaved in the South and moved west to start a new life. Recruited by the series Assassins, he would return to the South to fight for justice in a conflict that would, amongst other things, see him confront the emergence of the Ku Klux Klan. Lots more to this story for sure. Definitely give it a read.
Can I just say before we go any further?
Yeah.
Another part of the reasoning where they cancelled this game is because of the stupid backlash to Yasuke in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah. And I'm just going to say it as it is, stupid backlash. Yeah. As I said previously, that guy existed. He was real. I don't care what you think. He was real. Okay, like it was stupid people being racist effectively. I
And the thing
hate
is, like,
to.
they get this push now where if something is woke or DEI or whatever other bullshit labels that you want to put on it that don't exist, this is just forced Ubisoft into a hole now where they can be pushed around. This was the same thing with the Mass Effect ending where fans got power and then they just started abusing it. And now they're abusing it the wrong way. Like, the game that they're describing sounds amazing.
Sounds brilliant. Yeah, it sounds like a brilliant video game. And this is, and we want Ubisoft to take risks. We're always complaining about Ubisoft playing
an indie studio to be like, fuck, we'll make that game. Let's do it.
Yeah, like it really, really sucks because this game genuinely, for the premise of an Assassin's Creed game, sounds amazing. Like, it sounds like one of the most interesting Assassin's Creed games potentially that they ever would have made at that point.
Hell,
right?
there's parts of this story that are kind of in the new Mafia game, where you're essentially the slave who escapes to come back to basically get revenge, and he's built up through other means.
But do you know what the difference is? There's one difference, Jeff. What is it?
Oh, it was the clothes he was wearing. No. He was left-handed. No. Oh, he was white.
Yeah.
He was white.
That's all it is. Fucking idiot.
Like, it's like anytime that there's like a female, basically like main lead, people like those people lose their mind. Anytime there's like a minority or race or whatever the fuck it is, they lose their fucking minds and they think they need power to convert it.
You know, it's like, so I mentioned Football Manager earlier. And one of the things this year about FM26 is they've added women's football to the game for the first time ever.
Blasphemy. I'm gonna make a campaign right now to cancel it.
And so there are people saying they're not going to buy the game and boycott the game and all that. And the creative director, Miles Jacobson, said in this interview, well, if you don't want to play the game because women are in the game, just don't buy the game. He basically doesn't give a fuck, like, because it's stupid.
Boycotts generally don't work. I can't remember what it was. There was another game where people said that they weren't going to buy it. Oh, what was it? Oh, yeah, Ghost of Yotai. And look what is like one of the fastest selling PlayStation first-party games.
It's the best-selling game since Spider-Man 2, I think, for PlayStation. So,
and it has a smaller install base.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that boycott really worked.
Like, genuinely, look, I don't often call people out, but I'll say it quite frankly. If you're racist, we don't want you here. Like, go away. like, I do not support any of this bullshit. Okay? Like, for a start, this is a creative field where people can do whatever they want. If they wanted to make an Assassin's Creed game with a green alien, I don't give a like it genuinely doesn't matter. If you don't want to play it, don't play it. That's fine. You're within your rights to do that, okay? For whatever stupid beliefs you have. But do not try and push around creative people or companies just because you don't like something for a stupid reason. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm really sad that this has caused us to lose what sounds like a brilliant premise for an Assassin's Creed video game.
Who knows how far along that they actually were on this game.
Yeah, precisely. And the other thing people don't even think about is this game cancellation probably led to people losing their jobs. Like, it's ridiculous. We already know. Like,
I mean, Origins is what is considered one of like the best out there, and guess what? The color of the skin of the guy who you're playing as. Like, where was the outrage then? It's
all fake. Like, okay, yes, I get that maybe the political climate in the US is a bit weird right now, and that's a bit of a concern. I get that. But when you have the added pressure of people being stupid because there's a black samurai who actually existed in real life. Yes, okay, there was a debate over whether he was actually a samurai or not, but he still existed and he still had some sort of role in that.
And that wasn't even the first video game he was in. That's like the 6th or 7th. He's been in a Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah.
He was in, I think, Neo 2.
It's honestly, it's a joke, and I just want to be clear because people know that I like Ubisoft games.
Yeah.
This isn't just because it's a Ubisoft thing. You could be saying, like, if people had told me that they didn't play the Cyberpunk DLC because Idris Elba was in it, I would have told them to go fuck themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it is just unbelievably. It is heartbreaking that art can kind of be manipulated from the outside, so the creators don't get to actually conceive their vision. Because some of the best games we've ever got are ones that are uncompromised.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, let's stop this fake outrage for any video game, please. Stop these fake fucking boycotts, because I hate to look. I don't like swearing, but this has made me angry. So I apologize to you, Jeff, because you're listening to me right now. But
I'm right there. I'm right there. Like, when I heard that story, I was just like, this is fucking dumb. You just gave them power. Now they're just going to do it all over again every fucking year.
Yeah. And on another Ubisoft note, I don't know if you saw this, Jeff. This will be kind of our final bit of news. I will talk about it while you can maybe try and find it. But the head of the Assassin's Creed franchise has actually left Ubisoft.
Yeah, that was that he was forced out or whatever.
Yeah, he clarified. So he clarified that basically he didn't choose to leave. He was asked to step aside by Ubisoft because in the recent restructuring that they're doing involving Tencent that we spoke about last week.
The post here, it says, from the messages of colleagues, friends, and fans, a recurring theme has emerged that I feel I need to clarify, Cote wrote. Many of you have expressed surprise that I would choose to leave Assassin's Creed after so many years, especially given the passion I still hold for it. The truth is simple. I did not make that choice. Ubisoft decided to transfer the leadership of Assassin's Creed franchise to someone closer to its new organizational structure. A different position was mentioned, but it did not carry the same scope, mandate, or continuity with the work that I had been entrusted with in recent years. Stating that he loves this time as Ubisoft while it lasted, Cody stressed again that he did not willingly leave his post. I want to be clear that I hold no resentment, he said. Ubisoft has been my home for all my professional life, and I will always be grateful to the people, the projects, and the beliefs, that together we could create a world that would inspire millions.
Yeah. And I just want to be clear a minute, because I have mixed feelings about this, okay? Because Mark Alexis Cote, he has definitely made some mistakes in his leadership of the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Yeah.
But I also think that because he's been involved in the franchise so long, he is also the one that has helped to get the gameplay side of things feeling more like Assassin's Creed again. Right? Like, Shadows actually allows for good, meaningful stealth. Something that you haven't really been able to do in any of the last few Assassin's Creed games. I think that it's a shame for him in the sense that he talked about how there was like the 10-year plan for Assassin's Creed and they actually had lots of different projects mapped out. But I'm interested to see who takes a leadership role for the franchise going forward, because there's a lot of speculation now over who this person could be, and there are three names that have been mentioned. But the one I'm going to mention here, I think is actually sort of exciting. And it is Ashraf Ismail. People who don't know who this is may remember him as the creative director on Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Okay? But he stepped aside from Ubisoft after some kind of issues within his personal life, let's say. Things to do with his marriage and potential abuses of power, potential issues, but he wasn't like abusing anybody, you know. He wasn't one of those, but he got wrapped in with those people because, oh, this guy has cheated on his wife, essentially, is what happened. So he stepped aside to not be involved, to not get lumped in with the other problems that were going on at Ubisoft at the time. And he quietly, a few years ago, got hired by Tencent to join one of their studios on an unnamed game. They didn't ever reveal what game he was working on. But interestingly, the studio that Tencent hired him to work for is the studio that was making the mobile game Assassin's Creed Jade. Okay? So with his history with Tencent and the Assassin's Creed franchise, I actually think there's a strong chance that he may be put in the leadership role of the franchise going forward, because also when you think about it, he doesn't get the credit for Assassin's Creed Odyssey the way that he should, because he left Ubisoft before final release of the final full release of the game.
Still my favorite.
But when you think about Odyssey and Black Flag being arguably the two highest, like the two most loved games from the different styles of the Assassin's Creed franchise, like, this guy knows how to make a brilliant Assassin's Creed game. And if he ends up being the leader of the franchise, I think that could be a very positive thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know that some people are being negative about Mark Alexis Cote being pushed out, and I can absolutely understand why.
Mm-hmm.
The one positive I would say about it is the names that have been mentioned are all people, like the other one is, I forget his name, it's McDivitt or something, and he is the writer on the Assassin's Creed franchise, and he's worked on the Assassin's Creed franchise since the original, like, Ezio trilogy. So he also has a long history with the franchise. Yeah. And, you know, they're not bringing in someone from the outside to lead the thing. They are actually looking at people, reportedly, who actually do have a history with this franchise. And what I would say is the positive part is that although leadership change is scary, fresh leadership for a franchise can also lead to fresh and more interesting ideas, right? And some of those things don't always pan out. Hell, when Mark Alexis Cote took over the franchise, he was in a situation where, you know, he did make some mistakes. He removed a lot of the modern day stuff that people actually liked and was important for lore purposes, right? But he did improve the games in other ways as well. So I think that we have to just be open and wait and see what happens at the moment.
I think when you put somebody who is like really passionate about it at the helm, I think it definitely will help quite a bit. Just because they've kind of been there during when the vision was kind of being constructed.
Yes, absolutely. So,
you know, scooters them or something.
So I'm really interested to see where it goes. I still have my reservations over Tencent having more control over the Assassin's Creed franchise, but it's something we will keep our eye on and you know, continue to cover as things go forward. But for now, we have some time left here, Jeff. I have a bit more time. Let's talk about video games we've been playing, and I think we should start with something that we played last night with our good friend Keith Mitchell from the Outer Haven. All three of us played it in crossplay, and that is, of course, the upcoming game Arc Raiders, which is an extraction shooter of sorts. And I believe the developer is Embark Studios, and I'm pretty certain this is their first game. If I remember correctly,
it's quite good.
Yes, it is.
When you have a good team, obviously. I don't know what the solo plays like or do.
Other than when Jeff leaves you behind to die, we'll talk about that in a minute.
I didn't hit the elevator button. I needed that battery. I was going to do anything I needed. I mean, you guys could have survived.
So before we talk about our experiences with it, Jeff, why don't you explain to people who don't know what is Arc Raiders?
So Arc Raiders, basically, humanity's kind of, worked its way underground, and they need to go to the surface for resources and stuff. So they built a narrative around the fact that you need to extract items. And so basically what it is you will find items like mechanical circuits or wires or like batteries or sensors and all that kind of stuff. And you bring it back down and you convert it into other parts and pieces, and you start upgrading and leveling up certain things with different traders. You also have a chicken, Scrappy. He will give you stuff. You can dress up the chicken in different skins. There's a battle pass to kind of work through as well too. The server slam that's running right now is pretty limited. There's not you don't have access to everything, but you can still work through your skills.
And what I do like is they still show you what's there so that you can get a sense of what the full game is going to give you access to.
And there'll be other areas that you can kind of go to, but you'll head to the surface and there'll be other players there as well. And there'll be mechanical threats called arcs. And those come in different forms. There's like like drones that are fast, that are like hornets. And then there's the Rocketeer, who will just destroy you in like 1 or 2 shots. And it's terrifying when you encounter a Rocketeer.
So what I want to talk about is what I thought of the experience, because I've played quite a few extraction shooters, and I actually think most of them are quite weak because they don't really give you a true sense of progression. And once you die and lose things, you get to a certain point where you basically have nothing left, and they force you to spend money to kind of do stuff, right? Arc Raiders doesn't seem like it's doing that, because this game started life as a purely PvE co-op based open world shooter, effectively. It was a looter shooter style of game, and then they pivoted it to become a more PvP and still have the PvE elements in there. And
big giant fucking robots that like jump and the leaper and stuff. I saw Snowbike Mike and Andy Cortez from Kind of Funny playing, and they found other players like, hey, we're here to help. Do we all want to take on that big giant robot? And they're like, okay. Yeah. So they took on the big giant robot.
So the idea is you can kill other players. You could kill them and take their stuff. And in some situations, that might be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
However, it's a risk-reward strategy, right? Because if you failed... So with this being an extraction shooter, anything that you have on you, if you die while you have that stuff on you, you lose everything you have on you.
Yeah, you do have a safety pocket.
One item you can have in your... Yeah. But it's like, so we had a situation last night on one of the maps. We went onto a map with a lightning storm, and that was really messing us up quite a bit.
Oh yeah, because you just try and loot something, and like you're just getting zapped by lightning and stuff.
Yeah,
and then, we ran into a team that had the elevator ready.
And it was weird because at first I wasn't sure if they were going to shoot us, right? And then they randomly started shooting us. So we sort of ran down some stairs and ran out another way. And and they were in the extraction elevator because there's these elevators you can use, but
well, they had just called it basically when we got back up.
Yeah.
And
they were in there, and and Jeff ran in. He was like, "Get in the elevator!" So he runs in.
We'll flank him and take the elevator.
He runs in. He's shooting the guy, but little does he know the guy is closing the door to the elevator at the time. So Jeff gets extracted, and me and Keith are stuck behind, and we both die, and we lose all our gear, and we had like really good gear.
Because there was like a Rocketeer, I think, still there. There was like 2 Hornets or something, and like the other players and stuff. And I'm like, just book it for the elevator. And the thing is, like,
because Jeff really needed this battery. Okay,
he was on the elevator door, about to go in when it shuts him off.
Yeah, but that's what I actually, although it was frustrating in the moment, I actually really like that element of the experience because it's going to lead to some really funny things. Like, I'll never forget that. Like, it's something that I'm sure we'll bring up several times.
It's like,
you remember when you left?
Like the way that we found the one of this underwater pirate cavern or whatever, I can't remember what it was. The events leading up to that, when me and Becky played, we will never forget. It was one of the best experiences that we've ever had in the game. So we had that, and that was like our 4th or 5th match, and we were just trying out all the different types.
Because the round before that, I actually got trapped above you guys because you somehow got lower than me, and I didn't know where you were. And a player started shooting me from quite far away. And then you guys ran into a player who I believe you ended up killing. But I had to like run around, and I actually got around the side of the player, and I saw him running after me. Like, he had got to where I was, and he was running after me. And I jumped up on the wall and slid down the side of the wall to get away. Like, it was a really interesting. I really like Arc Raiders from a gameplay standpoint. It feels good. It looks good. There's one issue I have with the game, which we'll mention in a minute, but I like the sense of progression as well. So, like, yesterday, me and Keith both had to collect rubber because we were trying to unlock the gunsmith workbench, which allows you to craft attachments to add to your guns and improve them, right? Yeah. You can also upgrade your guns to improve their reload speed, their accuracy, their damage, things like that.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's all risk reward, because if you put a lot of resources into 1 or 2 guns and then you die and lose those things, you kind of start from scratch again. But that's the risk reward loop of a looter shooter, and I think that we all said that actually, as long as we have a consistent group of 3 to play, we probably will play more of this game if we can get our hands on it. And I'm going to be putting this episode out shortly after we record it, so the server slam will still be available to everybody, and it's free to download. Yeah. So what I would say is, if you are hearing this episode right now, go and try this out, because I think that this game is going to surprise people. I think, there's a lot of people weren't that hot on this game because it got announced several years ago at the Game Awards, and then it went really quiet, and I think people weren't that hot on it, but now people are getting their hands on it. It's very, very impressive. Like genuinely really impressive. I do hope that in the future they add an option to do just PvE if you want to, like maybe have 2 different game modes where one is literally just PvE, but maybe you don't quite get as many rewards in PvE, right? So maybe the risk reward of like PvP is you can get better rewards, kind of like how Division does it. Like how Division, you've got the dark zones in Division, but you don't have to go in there. Like, you never have to go in the dark zone to get really good stuff.
They could just make like a map node or something like that is like just against the arc, and maybe there's a greater sense of them on the map and stuff.
Yeah.
But, no,
Because when we were fighting these drones and these robots and stuff, it was really cool. Like, it was actually really cool because
the drones take like some abuse, and you gotta kind of take out their propulsion, like the way that they're.
And it's funny because if you take out like one of their propellers, what will happen is they'll start like flying. They're trying to shoot you, and they're like they can't fly properly, and then they end up crashing, and then. But it's funny because you'll have like these security cameras that see you. You'll make noise getting into
shit.
Yeah, and then that will actually draw drones over to you. And there's like spotter drones as well. There's loads of different types of enemies. I had a little spider drone jump on my back yesterday when I fell down that hole. So yeah,
it was super fun.
It was a really fun time, and we are hoping to review it. We're going to try and reach out to people and get some codes for it. And I think that, like I said, if we can get code, myself, Jeff, and Keith will all be playing it. So across hopefully both Analog Stick Gaming and the Outer Haven, you should see lots of coverage of Arc Raiders. But yes, I was very, very impressed. I do want to play more of it. I don't know if I need to play more in this server slam, but I am hoping to get access to it so that we can then play it and actually work through the progression and improve things. The one area I'd like them to improve, though, of the existing game is the navigation for the skill tree on controller specifically. So when you're using controller, it's not super clear what you're actually selecting, right, Jeff?
it's like just give me like a little Destiny cursor there to move around. It's just not great because like for a little while I thought I was blocked out of my skills for some reason, but no, it just was not working correctly. That's the biggest flaw. I think one thing they also need to do is the ability to trade items in the lobby area. So if someone needs like 2 rubber or something like that, you can just give them 2 rubber.
Yeah, definitely. That would certainly be helpful. Well, now because we've probably got time to talk about one more game here, and I want to talk about a game because after we played Arc Raiders last night, me and you were talking for a bit, but I was also playing a video game that you had recommended to me, and I ended up being up until 5 a.m. playing this video game. And so I blame you for my new addiction, but
there we go.
You recommended to me a game that I knew nothing about. I'd not even heard of. I didn't look up. All I saw, I didn't even read the Steam description, okay? All I saw of this video game was the key art. That was it. Didn't read anything.
Did you just buy it on Steam or did you get it on Game Pass?
I just bought it on Steam because I was like, I was like, I'm just going to buy it. And then, because as you know, I've been having a couple of issues with the Xbox app on my PC and I wanted to play it on PC. So I was
like $17-$18.99 or something like
that. So and I'm actually really glad that I bought it. And I'll talk about why after. But what is this video game, Jeff?
So Ball Pit, however you want to pronounce it. This was a game that worst game ever. No, this was a game that I had heard people saying, "Oh, hey, it's actually really, really, really good," but I never heard what it was. So when I downloaded it on Game Pass, I was expecting it to be this like Marble Madness type of thing, this ball puzzle type of game or whatever, because like Blueprints was getting a lot of like really good attention for being this kind of puzzle game. So I figured it was probably in that vein. And then when I started it, this village gets like eviscerated by this big like glowing orb thing or whatever, and there's a big pit. And then all of a sudden you're like this little character in this like Arkanoid kind of like vertical pit firing off balls at these enemies that are slowly coming down like Arkanoid or like Space Invaders and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is this game? And then all of a sudden you level up and it's like, hey, do you want a thing that causes like a ton of bleed or a thing that there burns enemy alive, or like this horizontal like laser thing.
Is very Vampire Survivors in that
Yeah.
sense.
It's Arkanoid mixed with Vampire Survivors, and like.
But then there's other elements to it as well.
There's like you'll just be firing balls everywhere, and they'll be like setting things on fire, and then like you can get like these mosquitoes that eventually go out and like drain health from enemies and like kill things and like burn stuff, and there's holy damage, and then there's like archery things that come in and shoot bows and arrows at everyone. There's different classes that have different abilities. Some start with fire, some start with bleeding, some start with frozen, some are twins that basically fire off 2 blasts. There's some that attack from the back. There's some where their attacks just go through enemies. And it just becomes this Vampire Survivors spectacle, but in an Arkanoid Space Invaders kind of form. And in order to progress, you kind of try to rebuild this kingdom in this like little square that you can eventually like build up and expand on. But how you build your buildings is you ricochet your workers off like ping pong balls.
Yeah.
Where like you put a building here and a building here and a building there, and you go ding 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 ding.
I use the one really bouncy building where they will like bounce back off of it, and I just use that to like build stuff. It's great.
Is so weird. Like you'll have wood and stone and wheat, and you'll get other buildings that then unlock new characters, and then
you can expand your building area as well.
Yeah.
And as you're playing, you'll pick up these scrolls that are blueprints for new buildings.
And it'll tell you how many blueprints are left in a level.
And some of these blueprints allow you to build buildings that will basically boost your stats slightly.
Yeah, like they'll improve your leadership, or they'll improve your strength, or whatever.
Yeah.
There's one building later on called Matchmaker where it allows you to bring a second character in with you. And if you complete the level with them, you'll get 2 gears instead of 1, because you need gears to go deeper down the pit.
Yeah, because you need to basically beat each level with at least 2 people, right? Because at the minute, I've beat the first level with 3 characters.
Yeah,
I've only beat the second level, the ice one, with 1 character so far, because that ice one seems really hard. Like, genuinely struggle with that one.
Well, my favorite characters here. Let me just bring up the game. I've got it on quick resume.
Nice.
The music's going. All right. All right.
Yeah, the music is good.
My favorite characters is the disgraced deputy, the Itchy Finger.
Yeah, I use him quite a bit.
Like, the embedded is like a mummy.
Okay, I haven't got that one yet.
The shield bearer holds a large shield that bounces balls back that hit it. Balls deal 100% more damage each time they bounce off the shield.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah.
Interesting.
There's a lot of like really amazing work done here. Like it looks pixelated. It kind of reminds me of the pixelated look of like Loop Hero, but expanded out to be a little bit more expansive.
Yes. It genuinely, like, it's a brilliant video game. Like,
it's amazing.
It's really, really good. As Jeff says, it is on Game Pass. It is one that I would recommend that anybody try, because it's all...
It's Devolver Digital. And, like, you know what to expect, yet you don't know what to expect from them.
Yeah. You never quite know what to expect. It's always like
whoever is like finding their games and stuff like that, like keep giving them raises. Honestly, Ballpit is like
this game has no right to be as good as it is. That's how I would explain it. Like,
it has like Becky hooked on it as well too. Yeah, she's claiming is the worst game ever of all time.
Because she's addicted to it.
More of it than I have right now. I mean, Banter is playing it as well. Sugar's
put it this way: I've played 2 sessions of it so far, and I'm like 6 hours in on it, just in 2 sessions.
Well, I was just gonna try it the one day, and then I ended up playing it for like 6 hours. And I told PR, I'm like, "Hey, can I get a Switch code to try this out on Switch?" And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely. Here you go." And we were talking about the game, going like this. I had no idea what to expect from this game because I went in completely blind, and like it's going to probably be in my top 5 for the year.
I put it this way: I can tell you right now that when I think we obviously give out things like best indie and things like that as well.
Yeah,
this this is probably going to be our best indie this year.
Oh, for sure. Like, I honestly, with the placement that this could have, depending on where you put Expedition 33 with how far you get, like, this could be our site's game of the year. I have no idea.
It could. Yeah, it really could.
Because, like, because if I put Expedition at 1 and then Berserker at 2 and then this at 3 and then you put that at 4 and you put Expedition at 7.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how it works out.
Yeah, it's so fucking good. Like,
it is. It really is.
Games that have really, really been addictive. There's games that have been fun. There's games that you will have 6 or 7 hour sessions and play and absolutely like that.
Put it this way, I should be playing Ghost of Yosei right now. Like, that should be my main focus because I'm even though we didn't get code, I'm supposed to review it for the Outer Haven. And I'm still waiting for my collector's edition to turn up so that I can give Jeff my code because that was
in the mail.
That's a weird situation. But I should be playing that, right? And I want to go and play that.
I know. I'm like, I've got like friggin' chicken hair that I'm playing right now. I've also got the Buy Sweet Carol, whatever, that I'm playing as well too. And then,
like, we have so many things to do. We have so many things to cover, but all I want to do is play Bullcross Pit instead. Like, I don't want to play anything else, even though I do deep down.
Yeah.
And it's very rare that a game gets its hooks into you like that.
Yeah.
And it's not in and the thing is, it's in a fun way, right? Because the greatest thing about this game is, just like Vampire Survivors, you can do 10 or 15 minutes and feel like you've made real progress.
Yeah, and the builds that you can get are insane. Like, you'll get some where like lasers just start like showing up, like they just start going like 3 lines down and 4 lines this way, and
so I had one. I like to make the bomb, right? Because this is one thing we haven't talked about. So you unlock these different. But I also make a bomb. Like, you can get the iron ball and something else, and it makes the ball into a bomb.
Okay.
And because one thing we haven't explained is when you collect these different balls. Like in Vampire Survivors, when you get different items, you can basically. There's actually, it's a bit deeper in this game, if anything, because you can fuse balls together.
Yeah.
But you can also evolve balls into something else.
Yeah. That's where Becky got like the Mosquito King or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And like it's some of the combinations are insane. Like it's just like you're barely doing anything and half the screen's been cleared.
Yeah. And it's like, I got to the point, one of my builds in one of my runs, I literally was stood still, right? Because I just stood still, and it was a run where I can't even remember the 2 balls that I had, but they were both evolved balls, and then I fused them together. So this one ball was basically doing tons of damage, but the support items that I had basically meant that every time the ball bounced, it was getting faster and faster, but it was also doing more damage. And when it hit the back wall, it was coming straight back to me every time.
Yeah.
So it was a situation where I couldn't even see the ball. I was just standing still, and it was just like killing everything.
It is absolutely insane. Like, it's fun. And even like the town stuff, which should be the most boring part of the game, the fact that you're ricocheting the people off buildings and forests and wheat fields and stone things,
you actually have to sort of think about what you're doing.
And you can put people in charge of like refineries and other little things and stuff like that to do that. You get trophies after you beat a level that then help you, because you have to, sometimes when you get new characters, you want to go back into old levels and like build them up, because like they'll level up and they'll get better stats and so on and so forth. And like,
and you also unlock more items as you. as you progress through the game, you also unlock more items that can then show up during any of your runs.
Yeah.
Like I've got one. There's one that you can get where it basically brings a piece into your side that pushes other pieces back away from you. But
Yeah.
I've now got one that is similar to that, but when it's on the field, it actually heals me. So it's very interesting, and you can create some really amazing builds.
Yeah, there's this one thing that I just unlocked that's really good. I'm just looking for it right now. It's like this like little severed head,
Oh yeah.
and it emits this like field that goes like 3 blocks deep or something like that, and it
Oh
just does
wow.
AoE damage constantly.
Yeah, it's like honestly, I would actually say,
Oh, here,
and it's
Wretched Onion deals
oh
6
wow,
to 12 per second damage to enemies within 2 tiles. And then
wow,
as you upload that or upgrade that, it goes to 3 tiles. It goes to 4 tiles. And
nice.
you just
That's why
stand and
I
it just
like the
eviscerates them.
earthquake because the
Yeah, that
earthquake
one's
does
really
a
good too.
similar thing.
Oh, I wonder if you could probably combine. No, because those are the passives. You can only combine the actives.
Yeah. So,
Um,
but it'll be interesting, you know. But what I would say, and it is early to say this, but I actually think this game might even be better than Vampire Survivors.
yeah, I mean, the thing with Vampire Survivors is it kind of popularized that style of game. It wasn't the original because it was a build off of something else. And
Yes.
Vampire Survivors has like a lot of nostalgia to it because it has that old school looking thing because they're almost using the Castlevania sprites and all the combination
Yes.
things that they've done. So that game's got a lot of history and stuff. But I mean, I have definitely enjoyed this more. I mean, but there's other games that are like Vampire Survivors that I've enjoyed more, like
I agree.
Jotunheimer. I really
Yeah.
like. Soul Survivors is fantastic.
What I love about this one though is there's literally hundreds of combinations. Like
Yeah,
there are
like there's
so many. It's crazy.
and there's a game that we're gonna try and get for Rebecca to review called like Kit Wizards, I think, something like that. And basically, it's like Borderlands, where it has the billions of everything. But what's neat about that is, as you discover those types of like fusions, you can actually name them if you're the first person to discover that combination.
Yeah, that is really cool.
So
That
that's
is
kind
really
of
cool.
neat. And then when you use that, it'd be like, hey, you can use like, you know,
Yeah.
Sugar's Dropkick or something like that, and it'll say like
Sugar's
created
dropkick.
by like Rebecca. You know.
Oh god. That's brilliant. But anyway, it is time to end the episode now. So I would say if you haven't, please go and try Ballcross Pit. It's on Game Pass. It's also cheap on Steam. It's not a very expensive game, and I bought it, but I'm glad I did because for how good this game is, this developer deserves my money that I paid for this video game. You know,
Yeah, and it's cheap. It's like 17, 18.99 depending on your platform.
yeah,
It is honestly like I think it's almost like this year's Balatro, where it's just this indie game
I agree.
that kind of came out of nowhere. That kind of has that like very pixelated kind of
Yeah,
style to it, and it's just built off like an addiction. I've got. Oh, I'm just going to do one more run.
yeah,
You know, and
absolutely.
yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely. So yeah, I
Go
would
buy this game.
absolutely go and play that. Um, I will allow us to end by why don't you tease what you're going to talk about next week, Jeff?
Yeah, so I'm several hours into it right now, but I kind of want to come back and kind of give some more deeper thoughts on it as well. But I've been playing Pokemon ZA. Um, this is the Pokemon, the Nintendo Switch 2 version. The one thing that I will stress is that if you have a Nintendo Switch 1 and you plan later on to get the Nintendo Switch 2, just buy the Nintendo Switch 2 version right now. Because if you don't and you convert up to the Switch 2 version from it, you only get the boosted resolution and frame rate. You don't get the enhanced texture packs that are part of the Nintendo Switch 2 version. It's a very weird thing that Nintendo is fucked up for this game. So if you, because like right, like when you have it, it specifically says it contains the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 and upgrade pack in this version. So buy this version no matter what. Do not buy the Switch 1 version. And it's neat. It's a sequel to Pokemon X and Y. Basically, where it just takes place all in Luminous City. There's no external outside areas. There's wild areas that have sprung up over the park and stuff. But I'm going to give deeper thoughts on it when I've got a little bit more time to kind of devote to it, because it's very good. It's made by the exact same team that made Legends Arceus. There's a museum where you go into it and it shows Legends Arceus right there with all the costumes that you can buy. It's very cool. But,
that's cool. Yeah. I look forward to hearing more about it if you can stop yourself from playing Bullcross Pit. But yeah, we will see you next week. I may or may not do a stream during the week and show you some Bullcross Pit. Depends on timing and things. But yes, we'll see. There's lots of game releases coming up. We're very busy right now. We're planning to review several things. But we have most recently, of course, both reviewed Battlefield 6. So I will link those reviews below because you should go and check those out. And if you're still on the fence about Battlefield 6, I would quite simply say this is the best one in quite some time. So I really think that you probably should buy it if you're interested in the game.
Yeah, I got a review that's going to be coming out for Dying Like the Beast, which I've played. I'm going to be trying to get a review out for Ball Pit as well too.
Nice.
I know you want to try out Keeper, so hopefully we'll have that kind of going. But
yes,
yeah, just keep checking the website.
We have many things coming. Things may just take a little longer than usual because we have so much on our plates at the moment and there's only so many things we can do, which is why we have, of course, expanded the team slightly in recent months with people like Rebecca helping us out and Kelvin and my partner Letitia as well, who's done 2 reviews now. But yeah, thank you for supporting us. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, if you need a VPN, we have a link below for you for NordVPN for all your online protection needs. And you can get NordPass Password Manager by going to one of our news articles on the website and pressing the NordPass logo in the sidebar. Or if you're on mobile, I believe it will appear towards the bottom. Isn't that correct, Jeff?
Yeah.
So, please, go and go. You will support us directly by signing up through those links. And the NordVPN in particular is really, really cheap. And actually this week, we will be updating our banners and links for NordVPN because they have a special sale on at the moment.
Nice.
Which I've been sent some stuff for. So maybe wait for a few days and then use those new links, which should make it even cheaper for a little while. So there you go. But this has been episode 67 of the Gaming Links podcast. Thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, share with all your friends. We will see you again soon, but it's a goodbye for now.
See ya.